This isn't your ordinary airport guide. What you're about to see are the world's most extreme runways, where a single miscalculation can lead to catastrophe. These are the airports that make even seasoned pilots break into a sweat, where every landing is a heart-pounding battle against nature's most brutal elements. Before we begin, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because what comes next will change how you look at air travel forever. Number 10. Courchevel Airport, France. Hidden in the French Alps, Courchevel Airport serves luxury ski resorts with what might be aviation's most intimidating runway. The 1,722-foot strip isn't just dangerously short. It slopes upward at an 18.5% gradient, forcing pilots to make steep descents into a blind valley. There's no go-around procedure here. Once committed to landing, pilots must stick the approach perfectly. The runway's unusual slope helps slow aircraft on landing, but also means takeoffs become downhill sprints toward a mountain drop-off. Private jets and small turboprops are the only aircraft daring enough to attempt this landing regularly. Number 9. Ice Runway, Antarctica. This seasonal airstrip near McMurdo Station takes the concept of improvised landing to terrifying extremes. Crews literally groom a runway into the Antarctic ice each summer, creating a surface that constantly shifts and changes. Pilots must account for reduced traction, sub-zero temperatures affecting aircraft performance, and the ever-present risk of hidden cracks that could collapse under a plane's weight. What looks smooth from the air might conceal dangerous imperfections, requiring ground crews to constantly inspect the pavement. The surrounding featureless white landscape creates severe visual disorientation, making pilots rely entirely on instruments even in good weather. Number 8. SVALBARD Airport, Norway. Located just 800 miles from the North Pole, SVALBARD Airport presents a unique set of Arctic challenges. The extreme cold affects everything from fuel viscosity to hydraulic systems, while winter's perpetual darkness combines with intentionally dimmed runway lights to protect the local ecosystem to create nearly blind landings. Polar bear sightings on the tarmac are common enough that armed guards patrol the area. The remote location means any mechanical issue becomes life-threatening, with the nearest major airport over 2 hours away in emergency conditions. Number 7. TENZING-HILLARY Airport, Nepal. Serving Mount Everest climbers, this Himalayan airport at 9,334 feet elevation has a runway that ends abruptly at a 2,000-foot cliff. The single 1729-foot strip slopes upward at 12% to help slow landing planes, while the downhill slope assists during takeoff. Thin mountain air reduces aircraft performance by up to 40%, requiring special calculations for every movement. Sudden weather changes can trap planes mid-approach, with violent downdrafts sometimes slamming aircraft onto the runway. The lack of navigation aids means pilots must make visual approaches through narrow mountain passes. There's no instrument landing system to guide them in. Number 6. KANSAI International Airport, Japan. This engineering marvel built on an artificial island in Osaka Bay is slowly sinking into the sea. Some sections have already subsided over 13 feet since 1994. The 2.5-mile runway requires constant elevation adjustments to remain operational. Pilots face the psychological challenge of approaching what appears to be open water until the last moments, compounded by unpredictable sea winds that can shift dramatically during final approach. The airport's isolation means emergency diversions aren't possible once committed to landing. You're either touching down on that sinking runway or ditching in the bay. Number 5. BARRA Airport, Scotland. The world's only commercial beach runway operates entirely at nature's mercy. At high tide, the entire landing strip disappears underwater, forcing pilots to consult tidal charts before flight planning. Even during operational windows, landing on compacted sand requires special techniques to prevent wheels from digging in and causing a flip. Saltwater spray corrodes aircraft at accelerated rates, while seabirds and occasional marine life add unexpected obstacles. The lack of lighting means all flights must conclude by sunset, and there's no instrument approach. Pilots rely entirely on visual references to a beach that looks different every day. Number 4. Madeira Airport, Portugal. Extended on 180 massive concrete pillars over the ocean, Madeira's runway is an engineering solution to an impossible location. The original 5,249-foot runway was so short that larger jets had to use reverse thrust during takeoff roll to build enough speed. Even after the 2003 extension to 9,124 feet, pilots must master the art of curved approaches to compensate for dominant crosswinds. The runway's ocean perch creates optical illusions during landing, with waves crashing just beneath the wheels, adding psychological pressure. Mountainous terrain on one side and open ocean on the other leave no margin for error during go-arounds. Number 3. LUKLA Airport, Nepal. Often called the world's most dangerous airport, LUKLA's 1,729-foot runway slopes at a 12% grade between mountain peaks. There's no radar, no lighting, no instrument approaches, and no second chances. One missed approach means diverting to an alternate airport hours away. The thin air at 9,100 feet elevation severely limits aircraft performance, while unpredictable downdrafts can slam planes onto the runway with dangerous force. At the runway's end, a stone wall waits to catch any aircraft that can't stop in time, while the 2,000-foot drop at the start means takeoffs become an immediate leap of faith. Number 2. JUANCHO YRAUSQUIN Airport, SABA. This Caribbean airport's 1,312-foot runway is the shortest commercial strip in the world, with cliffs plunging into the sea at both ends. Only a handful of specially certified pilots flying specific STOL aircraft can attempt approaches here. The runway's extreme shortness means pilots must touch down precisely at the threshold markers. Any later, and they'll run out of pavement. Mountainous terrain creates violent wind shears during final approach, while the ever-present ocean gusts can push a plane sideways just as it's about to touch down. There's no room for error. Even a minor miscalculation means ending up in the Caribbean Sea. Number 1. PARO Airport, Bhutan. Hidden in a Himalayan valley at 7,300 feet, PARO permits only 25 certified pilots worldwide to attempt its visual approach. The 6,500-foot runway requires aircraft to weave through 18,000-foot peaks while making sharp turns just 100 feet above houses and obstacles. There's no instrument landing system. Pilots must memorize every tree and landmark to navigate the winding approach. The thin air reduces engine power by 30%, while sudden wind changes can turn a stable approach into an emergency in seconds. The runway's orientation allows operations only during limited daytime hours when winds are calmest.